Hey.
Yep. You
All
okay?
right, you ready?
I'm more than ready.
Oh, gosh. Why is that so loud?
Is something wrong with the mic?
What?
Do I need to turn down the mic?
Eric.
Huh.
It's really bright in here.
Well, you do have like 17 lights on, but what are you
we just do this another time?
What are you talking about?
Like, I've got a very tender head. I would appreciate it if we just did this another time.
What's the problem?
I had one too many. Okay.
Oh my God!
Yesterday.
It's Monday. That was Monday. No, that was Sunday.
That was Sunday.
On the Sabbath.
And I'm going through it right now.
Not even the 4th of July. You okay?
Would you mind? We just did this.
I really can't, man. There's not really like a.
I just don't know.
You know what? I got an idea.
What?
Hang on. It's a great idea.
All right.
Yep, that's the works.
I'm going to put this up. I need a minute.
No, cures it every time. Don't throw up, please. Nope. Hang on. This cures it every time. Have you heard of ammonia? I mean, that's probably the wrong word to say. Have you heard of smelling salts?
Smelling what?
Smelling salts?
No.
This shoe. Check it out.
What? No, I don't want to take
Matt,
your shoe.
I'm telling you, dude. This is going to do it.
I don't want it.
Do it.
What do I do with
You're
it?
going to sniff it.
No, I'm not sniffing
You're
your
taking
shoe.
it deep. I'm telling you.
I'm not sniffing your shoe.
Deep.
You're going to have to make me do it. I'm not going to do this.
I will. You need to. We got to do this podcast.
You're not going to make me do it.
We haven't recorded in forever. We have to do it today.
Eric.
Put the shoe in your nose. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Let me get a hit of that.
I'm not hearing it right. Boom, the bell tolls. Eric.
You're welcome.
Eric.
Huh.
Do you realize what's happening right now? Do you realize what's happening? Trump is president. He's inviting all of his best friends to be part of the cabinet. We're nearest to World War III than we've ever been before in our lives. What are you going to do about it? You know what? I don't even care. The only question that matters.
Uh-huh.
Where's it snowing right now? Where's it snowing right now, Eric?
Illinois? Huh?
What?
Illinois? Colorado? I don't know.
It's very astute.
Mm-hmm.
It's very astute of you.
Thank you.
All right, moving the intro.
Maverick and the Samurai. Maverick and the Samurai. Come everybody, sing with me. Let's take down the big machine. Google Pro, we're all gonna die. Oh, where'd you go? I was waiting outside of Google AI HQ, don't you know? Have my back when we attack, oh here we go. Don't be surprised when we cry, oh no. Now give me a roar. Samurai.
You feel better now?
I think I'm doing okay.
I think I feel better now.
I'm pretty sure your shoe could kill
welcome.
cancer cells or something.
You're welcome. I was going to get some smelling salts, but then, I don't know. What's the point?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Have you ever actually done those?
Smelling salts?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did the Terry Crews smelling salts.
No, the Jujimufu.
Was it Jujimufu?
Yeah, the is what they're called, I think.
Okay.
Because I won an Instagram contest and got like a thing of them.
Okay.
Dude. But it would always jack with me because not only is that the smell, but then like the screwing the lid back on before you do like a lift. So I'd be like, and trying to like find the lid and they'd be like, you know, and I'm like, all right, here we go.
Oh my God.
Yeah, those are fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, smelling salts are crazy.
They are. And it's a weird, if you've never done it before,
It does jack you up.
It does.
Yeah.
Just like straight into your brain.
Yeah. I saw Joey Diaz do smelling salts on Joe Rogan.
Joey Diaz
Joey
did?
Diaz,
Oh my God.
He was like, you know?
Joey Diaz was so. Is he dead?
No, he's alive.
Okay. He's weird.
He's very weird. He does a lot of drugs.
Yes.
A lot of drugs.
And just famous for that.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But anyway, what do you got to... I know you got a couple things to talk about. I know I have one thing that I think is pretty cool that we should talk about.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's been a while. I was thinking it's close to the holidays. This is December, or almost December, almost Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Which marks like a year we've been doing this. I remember last year recording on Thanksgiving, I believe. Didn't we?
Yeah, right on Thanksgiving, I think, wasn't it?
I think so. And it wasn't
Or like the day after.
it wasn't very far into it
Yeah.
either. It might have been Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, in honor of the holidays, I was thinking, what is your least favorite Christmas song?
Oh, all of them. Yeah, I hate them all.
All of them?
Yeah, I despise Christmas songs. I really do.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I thought you were kidding.
No.
Why
I
do you
really
hate?
don't
Why
like
do you
them.
hate them?
Because they're it's the same thing every year.
Well, some
It's
are
the
beautiful.
same thing.
Mm.
Like there's no new Christmas songs. Frickin' and every solo artist has to come out with a Christmas album, even though they're singing the same frickin' songs. Like I hate it.
There's a lot to be said about the like 5 Christmas songs that everyone does repeat, and that one is really annoying.
The 5. of
There's
them?
like there's like 5 or 6 of like just the same, like everyone does a version of them, and it gets super annoying. So I agree with that, and I'm fine with it for like a week. But then, I mean, it's barely November at that point, and I'm already over it. So
Yeah.
I get that. Also, in honor of Christmas, there's a video I sent you. It's about a guy who camps outside. Has zero to do with Christmas, but I want you to see this because it scared the crap out of me. And I sent it to you. Go to 9 minutes and 18 seconds.
9. Okay.
So, what this guy does, it's called Outdoor Boys, I think is like the name of the channel. And he's like a middle-aged dude, and he will go camping, surviving out in the wilderness, talks about how to do it, does some really sketchy stuff. The thing that got my attention was he takes his son with him sometimes.
9 minutes and what?
18 seconds.
18. Okay.
And it freaked me out because he'll be like out in the middle of nowhere with like his like 6 or 7-year-old son.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's dangerous on a couple of levels. Like, that's not okay. And whether or not like anyone's like, oh, he's safer, you know, with him than anyone else or whatever, I don't care. But I want you to see what happens in this. He's cooking dinner in the tent, and something happens. And he's talking. We'll probably put the video on so you guys can see it. But he has to mouth like what is actually happening, because he's like trying to keep his voice down. But you're gonna hear something in there. So yeah, I just want to see your reaction to this and think like, what if this happened to me?
These for my flood lighting when I'm filming at night. And when I'm winter camping, I'm always filming at night. Woo, it's bright. Got the fireplace turned around so I can work on it a bit. You hear that?
Buddy. Wolves.
It's getting time. Let's make some dinner.
That's about. You can stop right there,
Gosh.
dude. Is that not the freakiest thing?
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Wolves. Buddy.
And it's like laughing or something like that.
Dude.
Like I would never go camping again.
No.
I'd be done.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do it. Some people love it. My barber loves it. I don't know how people. He does. I don't know how
Your
people do.
barber?
He does. He's
You have
talking
a
about it
barber?
today. Yeah.
Why?
He cuts my hair
But why though?
because I have some.
That's fair. Okay. Moving on.
Yeah. Just flip the table. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of was thinking about that and just like, there was just this part of me that was so uneasy about that.
Yeah.
Of just like picturing that like in a tent and being like, I just want to go home. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be here. And he was like, I don't want to wake up Jacob. It'll scare him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's his kid.
Yeah.
That's sleeping in there. I'm like, you just like, did nothing like click in your brain of like the danger that you just put your child in?
Yeah, that's messed up.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm glad you feel that way too, because it just like, that jacked with me.
I mean, like, what do you do though? You know what I mean? Like, what do you do? Like, I know that he's out in the wilderness, like, and he's with his son, and he's probably trying to, you know, they probably really enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm not
You
saying
know
he
what I
did it
mean?
on purpose. I get that.
Yeah. And so, like, I understand where the sentiment comes from, and I understand, like, where the enjoyment of it comes from, and, like, you're making memories with your kid. But there's that.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's wolves.
There's just the, like, people who camp and go just way out there in the middle of nowhere, like, hats off to you, because I just picture, like, that being, like, the end of my life.
Oh, yeah.
And just the regret.
Like, what do you do? Because what he did, sure, probably that's the best thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
What would you have done? Like, what would you have done?
Definitely. I mean, I don't even know. Like, I mean, it's like, how do you just wait for it to go away and hope it doesn't escalate? But then you're like, are they just out there?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Is it the gray situation?
When does the danger go away? Yeah,
it
exactly.
Doesn't. It doesn't.
Where's Liam Neeson?
In that case, it doesn't.
Right.
But you're in the wilderness, like, it doesn't, period. Like, that could have been freaking coyotes. You know what I mean? Like,
it's true.
You're in their territory.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you risk that no matter
I'm good.
What you're doing.
Nope. The deep woods, the jungle, the ocean. I am fine. And I'm sure there's some space sharks, too, or something out there that gets you in space.
It's like that one dude who was like a conservationist and, like, talking to Joe Rogan about, like, the megalodon sighting and all that junk.
Yeah.
That dude,
He's
He's a mega conservationist, okay? And so he was talking about, like, you know, hey, like, we're in their territory, but at the same time, like, the tribes that live there, like, they don't shower or bathe with scented soaps or anything like that. It's all natural stuff. And so, like,
palm leaves.
He's like straight up, he's like, there, like, while I was walking a trail, a cougar or a jaguar just walked right through the path, looked at me, and kept walking. And he's like, the other people who are coming in here who are probably, like, you know, doing documentary type stuff are, you know, wearing axe or whatever.
Yeah, you know,
like, you can
filmmakers
smell
in there.
all of that out there. Yeah, you can, but he's like, you can smell all of that.
It's like Apocalypto. When you said the conservationist, the first one I thought of, I don't even think it was Joe Rogan, but there's this guy that, there's just some people that are so into their craft. And I was talking with, like, a group of my friends, and there's elements, you know, when we go through things as dudes or as adults, like, we go through things and we kind of need to, like, go through our emotions. Sometimes we connect with, like, our inner child a little bit more. Sometimes we kind of interact with, like, our masculine, our feminine. Like, sometimes there's just, like, different parts that we just have to work through. And some people don't know how to do that, and they kind of fall apart, or kind of just, you know, find some type of coping mechanism or something and think like, okay, I got through that rough patch, I'm good now, you know, or whatever. But I was thinking, there was this guy who is very, as one of my friends puts it, wooey, like, very just like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, just very much
like a hippie?
Kind of, yes. And he was on a podcast, and I was watching it, and it was one of those moments where I wanted to, like, pay attention, but then as he started talking, I'm like, because the way he said it.
Yeah.
And then I went to the comments, which made it worse. But this guy, they're like, so walk us through your daily routine. And this is who I thought you were talking about. When you said this is where my brain went. He was like, walk us through your daily routine. He's like, oh, yeah. And you might have to beep this out, but I'll just tell you. He's like, wake up. First thing, piss. Then drink a liter of water. Go outside and I earth. I just get my toes in the ground And I'm sitting there with my coffee. When he said that, I was just like, ugh. And it's like, and then my dogs are, walking and having to do their business or whatever. And he's like, but I'm just out. And he's kept doing like this, like his toes. He's like, I just keep.
Like with his fingers, he's doing that?
No, I'm making him do that.
Oh, okay.
But he's like, and I'm just in the dirt, just feeling bare feet, just feeling it, drinking my coffee, looking out, Then I go inside and eat breakfast. And
how long does he earth for?
Right, I don't know, 10 minutes. And
I feel it when I'm done earthing. When I fully supplanted my entire worth into the dirt, into the ground. I have rooted my body, tendrils and all.
That's exactly what he sounded like. He just kept going and going, and so I go to the.
He sounded like White Goodman.
Almost. And so I go to the comments, and this guy was like, "Wow, this is very similar to my routine. I will edit it." But he's like, I wake up, poop, and then get out of bed.
Praise God for that. That's so good.
I was like, can you imagine the look on Earthy's face when he read that? Just roasted.
I just imagine he's like, yeah, I've done that before. Same page there, bud.
Yeah. He's like, oh, new comment. Read.
Yep. I wake up, poop, then get out of bed. Then I go to my dojo.
27 upsy downsies.
Pull up chin ups.
I'm like, that guy like typed that out. I'm like, you know what I mean? But God, that's a good one. But dude, oh man. Yeah. I'm not an earthen, but maybe one day, who knows? But that's what I thought of when you said that.
I forgot what I even said.
Conservationist?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's funny, dude.
He studies the stars?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's an underwear model, what?
Fruit of the Loom? Blue Steel?
That's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have to put that video up there so that they know exactly like what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's great. We're gonna move on to what I guess I had prepared.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Have you ever heard of Mad Jack Churchill?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Never before.
Nope.
So that's really interesting because there's so many times, like, especially modern day, like the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare is essentially telling the tale of men during World War II who tried to sink German U-boats or submarines. And
by hand?
Well, I mean, there were explosives.
Like up on a cliff. Like,
all right. Yeah, I think that's the spot.
Wait.
I'm just gonna be able to go right through that.
I'm just diving straight in.
I know I'll be able to penetrate.
With my pokey poke.
I'll be able to penetrate that bee.
Why can you say penetrate, but you can't say the R word?
You can say penetrate.
Oh, that's what I mean. Like, why can you say that, but you can't? I mean, I don't know. Anyway.
I guess it's not politically correct. I hate PC culture. You know who I'm talking about. Are you okay?
Go on.
Did you catch a fly? What just happened?
When you catch fly. Anyway, catch fly with chopstick.
You're ready to skip supper. So we're going to talk about that. They should have made a movie about this freaking dude. So, John Malcolm Thorpe Fleming Churchill. Okay?
Wasn't that the guy of the soap that we talked about?
Name.
Count.
The guy in the soap?
Remember that guy? The guy we talked about with his soap?
Oh, the conservationist?
No, this guy. The one who with the Colty soap, remember?
Oh, Dr. Brunners. Yeah, that's the same person.
Yeah, so I thought, keep going.
So he was born September 16th, 1906.
Oh, coming up.
Died in 1996. He was a
man.
British officer.
Coming up.
Nicknamed Fighting Jack Churchill or Mad Jack. He fought in the Second World War with a long bow, a basket-hilted Scottish broadsword, and a set of bagpipes. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. So his early life, he was, and I'm getting all this from Wikipedia, so anyone can freaking see it.
It's
I
credible
guess.
then. Mm-hmm.
It's the most credible. Churchill was born in Colombo. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. British Ceylon.
On the set of Columbo. Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm trying to read.
Michael
through it.
Landon.
He was born.
Built like a UPS van.
I'll just read it. Later of Hove, East Essex. Eleanor Elizabeth, daughter of John Alexander Bond Bell. Okay,
Alexander Bell?
I guess so.
Graham Bell?
Of Kellinard, County Cavan, Ireland.
I feel like you're reading like
I'm doing my
Leviticus
best,
right now.
right?
No, I feel like you're reading like the book of Deuteronomy or whatever, like where it's
I
just
mean,
like,
it's
hey,
close.
begot this and begot that.
It's close.
Bring on the U-boats. It's been 36 years, Matthew.
John Fleming Churchill also served, this is his father, served in the military. Soon after Jack's birth, the family returned to Dormansland, Surrey. Just get that through. That's not English that they're speaking. Like,
Surrey.
I don't know what's happening.
Oh, it's okay. We
Where
kicked your guys' butts years ago.
his younger brother, Thomas Bell Lindsay Churchill, was born. In 1910, the Churchills moved to British Hong Kong. When Alec Churchill was appointed Director of Public Works there, he also served as a member of the Executive Council. The Churchills' third and youngest son, Robert Alec Farquhar Churchill, later a lieutenant in the Royal Navy and Fleet Air Arm, was born in Hong Kong in 1911. The family returned to England in 1917. Churchill was educated at King William's College on the Isle of Man, which is Scotland. Graduated from the Royal Military College, Sandhurst, in 1926 and served in Burma with the Manchester Regiment. He enjoyed riding a motorbike in Burma. Churchill left the army in 1963.
Who wrote this obituary?
Or 1936, and worked as a newspaper editor in Nairobi, Kenya, and as a male model. Yeah, he used his archery and bagpipe talents to play a small role in the 1924 film The Thief of Baghdad. Did I miss the part where he learned? Okay, whatever. So yeah, he learned it. So I think he learned it in Nairobi, like how to shoot the bow and arrow. He also appeared in the 1938 film A Yank at Oxford, which
Can't say that anymore.
yeah, you can't say that. He took second place in the 1938 military piping competition at the Aldershot Tattoo.
Can't say that anymore either.
Piping competition in 1939.
First or last.
In 1939, he represented Great Britain at the World Archery Championships in Oslo, where he took second place.
Why would you even put that? Put second place. Oh, you lost.
I'm sorry, he took 26th place.
Oh, okay. Why is that
Yeah,
even
in the
on it?
world. I mean, that's okay.
I guess that's right. I guess that's the only time you should put like a after
ranking.
third place. Yes,
Yeah.
if it's about the world. It's
Yeah.
like okay.
Okay, France 1940. This is World War II. So Churchill resumed his commission after Nazi Germany invaded Poland
Ayo.
in September 1939 and was assigned to the Manchester Regiment, which was sent to France in the British Expeditionary Force. In May 1940, Churchill and some of his men ambushed a German patrol near Epinette. Churchill gave the signal to attack by raising his broadsword. A common story is that Churchill killed a German with a longbow in that action. However, Churchill later said that his bows had been crushed by a lorry either earlier in that campaign. A lorry is like a big truck. After fighting at Dunkirk, he volunteered for the commandos. On one occasion to a general who had commented on his weaponry. Churchill is said to have replied, "Any officer who goes into action without his sword is improperly dressed," which is a running quote from him. Everywhere you look, he has said that.
What a crazy human.
Yeah. So his younger brother, Thomas Churchill, also served with and led a commando brigade during the war. After the war, Thomas wrote a book called Commando Crusade that details some of the brothers' experiences during the war. Their youngest brother, Robert, also known as Buster, served in the Royal Navy and was killed in action in 1942. Norway, 1941. Churchill was second in command of number 3 Commando in Operation Archery, which he volunteered for. A raid on German garrison at, I'm not even going to try and say that, on the 27th of December in 1941. As the ramps fell on the first landing craft, he leapt forward from his position, playing March of the Cameron Man on his bagpipes before throwing a grenade and charging into battle. He plays the bagpipes, pulls a grenade, launches it.
What was the name of the song?
What's up?
Suck it!
March of the Cameron Man. Sorry, Cameron Men.
March of Cameron Diaz, got it.
Yes. For his actions at Dunkirk and Vagsøy, Churchill received the Military Cross. In Italy, 1943, as a commanding officer, he led the number 2 Commando regiment from their landing site in Catania in Sicily with his trademark Scottish broadsword slung across his waist, a longbow and arrows around his neck, and his bagpipes under his arm, which he also did in the landings at Salerno.
This is in 41?
This was 1943.
It's like a year before Normandy, and this guy's got a bow out there.
A year after, right?
I think Normandy was 44.
Yeah, you're right.
He's out there like...
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, leading the 2nd Commando, Churchill was ordered to capture a German observation post outside the town of Melina, controlling a pass leading to the Salerno beachhead. With the help of a corporal, he infiltrated the town and captured the post and took 42 prisoners, including a mortar squad.
With
one corporal.
Dude.
Yeah. It was an outpost.
Oh my God.
Churchill led the men and prisoners back down the pass, with the wounded being carried on carts pushed by German prisoners. He commented it was an image from the Napoleonic Wars. He received the Distinguished Service Order for leading that action at Salerno. Churchill later walked down the town to retrieve his sword. So yeah, in that I guess
Exchange.
mission, he lost his broadsword in hand-to-hand combat. He lost it, he's like, I gotta go find my sword now. And so he, on his way there, he encountered
in someone's neck. There it is.
I just imagine he accidentally had it knocked from his hand, and it just lands in someone.
Yeah, he went back and
Yeah.
He's like, just Legolas up on top of this freaking thing, and the
I
guy,
love that your backhand didn't even move. You're just like,
and the he's got like 5, just kind of,
yeah.
And then the guy behind him is just like, just bleeding out. And like, where the fuck?
Where's my sword? Or lad, I have to get my broadsword.
Dad, left that thing for 36 years, Matthew. I kind of want to know the song that he was playing when he was marching through that.
Did you find it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
And You're like, where did that come from? I've never heard bagpipes in my life.
Just like,
Yeah.
they just completely forget what a grenade looks like.
Just imagine me woken out of a dead sleep. Just like their head just up. And then just a single grenade. I picture him being like, have you seen that guy that does thunderstruck on the bagpipes and makes like
Yeah.
fire come out?
Yeah.
I feel like that was him.
That might have been.
Just with a grenade.
Yeah, right.
Instead of fire. That's crazy,
That's
dude.
so nuts. So on his way back to getting his sword, he encountered a disoriented American patrol mistakenly walking towards enemy lines. The NCO in command of the patrol refused to turn around, and Churchill told him that he was going on his own way and that he would not come back for a bloody third time.
End quote.
Yeah, right. Yugoslavia, 1944.
Yugoslavia.
As part of the McLean mission, or MACMIS, as it was called, in 1944, he led the commandos in Yugoslavia to support Josip Broz Tito's partisans.
Isn't that a restaurant in town?
Yeah. From the Adriatic island of Vis. In May, he was ordered to raid the German-held island of Brach. Excuse me.
Yeah.
He organized a motley army, quote unquote, of 1,500 partisans,
A motley crew.
the 43rd Commando, and one troop from the 40th Commando for the raid. The landing was unopposed, but on seeing the gun emplacements from which they later encountered German fire, the partisans decided to defer the attack until the following day. Churchill's bagpipes signaled the remaining commandos to battle. After being strafed by an RAF Spitfire,
Strafed?
yeah,
Oh my god.
Churchill decided to withdraw for the night and relaunch the attack the following morning.
His bagpipe's just like getting further in the distance because he's coming out
He's
like
running
hard.
away.
And then he's just getting softer.
Yeah. So this is where he's captured. The following morning, a flanking attack was launched by the 43rd Command.
Because he would
Churchill-
not stop playing his bagpipes. And
Right.
so we found exactly where he was.
Honestly, like,
Just
even if he did it like quietly,
He's over there.
but it's just like like just like a
does-
spit-filled flow of
It doesn't
of
have
air.
a note. It's just coming through a straw. They're like, shut up! For God's sake.
Churchill, come on! A flanking attack was launched by the 43rd Commando, with Churchill leading the elements from the 40th Commando. The partisans remained at the landing area. Only Churchill and 6 others managed to reach the objective. A mortar shell killed or wounded everyone but Churchill, who was playing "Will Ye No Come Back Again" on his bagpipes
Naturally.
as the Germans advanced. Yeah, pull that up.
What is it? Will
Ye No Come Back Again? Question mark.
you want me to play it now?
Can you find it? Did
Yeah.
you find it?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
As a sample of the loyal trust
Hang
of
on. He's over there.
So he was playing this while the Germans advanced.
That's like Star Spangled Banner type stuff, dude.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Wow.
He was knocked unconscious by grenades and captured. I know where your mind went with that. I know. You're just like, they don't even pull the pin. They just throw.
Just stick a rock. Just ow.
I know your mind immediately went there.
Just all the air out of the sack.
While he's unconscious, the rest of the air is going out of the bagpipe. So he's just there like.
It's like sputtering. Oh my god, dude.
Oh, that's perfect.
Wow. What a way
I knew
to go.
that this would be great.
What a way to
talk
go.
about. But
Oh.
I didn't like. This is great. This is even better than I imagined.
This is like if Lassie was a real movie.
Oh,
This is
gosh.
like what it is.
So
Oh,
okay.
man.
So believing that he might be related to Winston Churchill, which he was not.
When he came back
So
to
when he got-
consciousness or what?
When he got captured.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the
Got it.
Germans thought that he was related to Winston Churchill.
Okay, I thought it's like his inner monologue. Like, I awoke several hours later in a daze, thinking I might be related to Winston Churchill,
But I'm not.
but I'm not.
No.
I earthed.
I earthed. No, so he would, but they thought he was related to Winston Churchill. He is not. German military.
How long was that
intelligence-
conversation? Like, you think he's related to? Not. Okay.
They were like, I mean, he could be. He could be though. Let's keep him.
Strudel.
Strudel.
Dawson Strudel.
Gosh.
Hans.
German military intelligence had Churchill flown to Berlin for interrogation. Afterwards, he was transferred to a special compound for prominent, quote unquote, POWs, including some actual or suspected relatives of Winston Churchill within the grounds of Sachsenhausen concentration camp.
Like, we're already having a trial on Winston Churchill's relatives. We might as well just throw this guy in there.
Yeah, I mean, he might be.
He might be. He's not, but, you know, he might be.
A little bit of leverage. In late April 1945, Churchill and about 140 other prominent concentration camp inmates were transferred to Tyrol and guarded by SS troops. A delegation of prisoners told senior German army officers that they feared they would be executed. A German unit commanded by Captain Richard von Alvensleben moved in to protect the prisoners. Outnumbered, the SS guards moved out and left the prisoners behind. The prisoners were released, and after the departure of the Germans, Churchill walked 150 kilometers or 93 miles to Verona, Italy, where he met an American armored unit.
Dude.
So this is Burma, 1945. As the Pacific War was still on, Churchill was sent to Burma, where some of the largest land battles against Japan were being fought. By the time Churchill reached India, Hiroshima and Nagasaki had been bombed, and the war ended. Churchill was said to be unhappy with the sudden end of the war. Quote, "If it wasn't for these damned Yanks, we could have kept the war going for another 10 years.
They're like, yeah, they bombed him. He's like,
Yeah.
He's mad.
Yeah, no, he was mad. He was just like, yeah, this is bullcrap. Like, I wanted to keep fighting. Yeah.
I also realized how just like unfamiliar with geography I am. Like, I didn't think you could get. I mean, those places don't seem in proximity.
Yeah, no, they're
It's
not.
like I'm gonna fight over here, and I'm fighting over there, and fighting over here. And
Yeah.
by the time we got to India, you know,
That's kind of how war is.
it
though.
is. They just kind of it's
They
happening
kind of
here
just
and
send you
happening here.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, post-war, British Palestine. After the Second World War ended, Churchill qualified as a parachutist and transferred to the
Qualified.
Seaforth Highlanders. He was soon posted to Mandatory Palestine as executive officer of the 1st Battalion, the Highland Light Infantry. In spring 1948, just before the end of the British mandate in the region, he became involved in another conflict. Along with 12 of his soldiers, he attempted to assist the Hadassah medical convoy, which came under attack by Arab forces. Churchill was one of the first men on the scene, banged on a bus, and
Come again?
offered to evacuate members of the convoy in an APC despite the British military orders to keep out of the fight. So he banged on the bus to get people out, I guess.
They could have been a little more clear.
Yeah, and that's Wikipedia for you.
Hmm.
His offer was refused in the belief that the Jewish Haganah would come to their aid in an organized rescue. When no relief arrived, Churchill and his 12 men provided covering fire against the Arab forces. 2 of the convoy's trucks caught fire, and 77 of the 79 people inside of them were killed. The event is known today as the Hadassah Medical Convoy Massacre.
Mm.
Of the experience, he said about 150 insurgents armed with weapons varying from blunderbusses and old flintlocks to modern Sten and Bren guns took cover behind a cactus patch in the grounds of the American colony. I went out and faced them. About 250 riflemen were on the edge of our property shooting at the convoy. I begged them to desist from using from the grounds of the American colony for such a dastardly purpose. So that was him quoting. After the massacre, he coordinated the evacuation of 700 Jewish doctors, students, and patients from the Hadassah Hospital on the Hebrew University campus on Mount Scopus in Jerusalem, where the convoy had been headed. Retirement. He retired in 1959, and that lasted until his death in 1996. In retirement, his eccentricity continued. He startled train guards and passengers by throwing his briefcase out of the train window each day on the ride home. He later explained he was tossing the case into his own back garden so that he would not have to carry it from the station. He also enjoyed sailing coal-fire ships on the Thames between Richmond and Oxford, as well as making radio-controlled modeled warships.
Dude,
Mad Jack Churchill, guys.
so many questions, but also, how have we never heard of this guy?
Oh, I know. Why didn't they make a freaking movie of him?
That's really crazy, actually, now
Yeah.
that you say that. I feel like there was some back in the day. Well, I don't know. There's some that are kind of like that, but not. I mean, with a bow,
Yeah.
that almost seems made up.
Oh, I know. Well, in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, the movie.
Uh-huh.
So Alan Richardson, or Rickson, I think it's Rickson, the guy who does Reacher on the.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he plays a Swedish soldier in that movie.
Okay.
And you know, Alan Richardson he's a huge man. Like he's 6'4" and like 250 pounds is just like pure muscle.
I kind of wondered if they were like making that up because they make him seem huge on
No, he's
everything. So
he's a big freaking dude.
okay.
Like he's legit big. He in the movie is killing a bunch of people with a bow and arrow. He apparently he only used hunting knives to kill people.
Oh.
And so like his character was actually based off someone who fought in the World War.
Hmm.
And I can't remember the name of the mission that they were talking or that they were doing in the movie, but it was him and this other kind of eccentric captain played by Henry Cavill, who later Ian Fleming based James Bond off of Henry Cavill's real life character.
Huh.
And so you actually see Ian Fleming, the character in that movie.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Huh.
And
Dang.
so it's crazy just like how some real life situations are like fiction nowadays.
I know. And that like they can I was talking to this about someone like people before that they'll be like based on a true story. And when I was a kid, based on a true story to me meant like this is real.
Yeah.
And now and like you get older and you're like, nope, it just means like this has the same first name
Yeah.
as someone else who had the first name, you know?
Yeah. And I like the way that Guy Ritchie does movies and stuff, and like it's very embellished, I'm sure, in some capacity, just because like it's regular stuff, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about, just like how some of like what actually happened in real life is like, you know, James Bond or, you know, a movie.
There's probably so many, not people like that, but stories like that of things happening during that time that like we just will never know because
Oh my gosh.
it was one battle or they didn't make it, couldn't talk about it, or there was just, yeah, it's crazy. My grandpa was actually in the Air Force during World War II and is my mom's dad, and was the guy like calling people's names that were getting on the planes to go to Normandy.
Okay.
And he was like, I'll never forget like their faces and like just stuff like that. I'm like, that to me, like, can you imagine going through something like that and trying to like sleep at night?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that. I'm
I
so
mean,
different.
Just stuff that we can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Like I do a lot of, I look at a lot of like interviews. Like if you ever listen to the Sean Ryan show,
Mm-hmm.
I know you kind of think he's a kind of a turd, but
Is he the one? Keep talking. Sean Ryan.
Sean Ryan, yeah. So he interviews a lot of vets. He was an ex-Navy SEAL, and he used to be in the CIA as well. And he interviews these guys who are, you know, from day one. Like, hey, what was your upbringing like? Was your family in the military? Did you ever expect you were going to be in the military?
I don't think he's a douche. I know
You
who you're
didn't?
talking about now. No, I don't think he's a douche.
You said somebody like him was.
I mean, David Goggins.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't stand David
David
Goggins.
Goggins is ridiculous.
I hate him.
He
I don't
is.
hate him, but I don't like him.
No, he's ridiculous. He's a ridiculous human being.
I agree. And I think it's, I mean, I can't imagine being in his life in a personal capacity.
No.
And having to like listen to him just like talk about himself all
Yeah.
the time.
Like I wake up every day and do 47 pull-up chin-ups.
That's literally it.
Yeah.
Like,
I wake up at 3 a.m. and I go on a 4-mile run. Yeah.
and
no.
I just don't, I don't have any
That's
capacity.
that's not real.
No, and it
You're not
doesn't.
real.
And I mean, you can do what you want. I don't care, but I don't want to hear about it.
Right.
And he's got like I don't know, he like all of his books and stuff like that. And he's a decorated military guy, and that's fine. But I just don't see the point in all of the things that he's done. I also don't know how that translates to the average man.
Well, and that's interesting that you say that, because like I definitely understand where that comes from, because once you've been like a Navy SEAL or an Army Ranger or a Green Beret or a freaking CIA spy, okay? How that translates into everyday life is just something that we'll never comprehend.
No.
Like Sean Ryan, he was ex-CIA, ex-SEALs.
Yeah.
Okay? Like he had a very long career of some very like deep stuff.
Yeah.
He's now doing a podcast. You know, like Vigilance Elite. He's got a business. And so like I think they create gummy bears that are, I don't know if they've got like THC or something in, I don't know.
Oh.
But that's not me saying it definitely does. I don't know. But I just want to be clear. But it's just one of those things to where like even John Lovell, he is an ex-Army Ranger. Christian dude, comes out and is still in that spot of like, how do we defend ourselves? How do we like market our image of like, this is how you clear a room type of thing, you know?
He's very for him, I like his he's very wholesome about it, but also very confident in what he does, like when he does his trainings and you see him like with people on the range, you know, and stuff like that, and he'll be like, okay, like, hey, gun barrel down, you know what I mean? Like he's like very like, hey, you want this down, see where your hand is, that's why you're pulling, like, okay, now pull it. Is there a round in there? Oh, you didn't, you know, he does all these drills with people to like, but he's helping their like process and goes about it in a really good like coaching, wholesome, helpful way. And yeah, I have no idea what that's got to do to your brain to see stuff like that and try to come back to like a civilian life. Be like, oh, this guy cut me off in traffic. I can't take care of this. Like, or I can't like, this is bringing
This
me
man
to
isn't trying to kill me, you know?
exactly stuff like that.
I get it.
Yeah,
And,
I mean
like,
that's got, and I don't get it. Like I can't imagine what that's like. But it's kind of like, to me, it's like things of like projecting our own wounds, I guess, onto an unsuspecting audience that maybe didn't ask for it. And if it's there for that, like there's bodybuilders that will do the same thing. But, and I can't remember his name, but what I like that he does is he's like, he kind of brings up like the situation, kind of makes light of it a little bit, but talks about like bullying, for instance, and does like a little skit about bullying, and then has a message kind of like, hey, this is why bullying's wrong. I was bullied as a kid. If you're being bullied, like, you know, don't worry, it gets better. Keep lifting weights, keep doing this. Like, I'm proud of you. Stuff like that. And I think those things are helpful.
Yeah.
But not like, just be like me. Just do what I do.
Yeah.
You know, go to bed at 7 p.m. and wake up at 8 p.m. You know what I mean?
It's practical.
And it's like there's grace there, there's guidance there, and also it's kind of a humility and a vulnerability of like, this worked for me and I want you to experience that too.
It's not
like
going to work for everyone. Making that clear, but that's at the same time, like his shtick, I guess, is warrior poet. Okay, and it's very much along the lines of like things that real legitimate warriors, and like I think that he is one.
Yeah.
Okay, that was kind of their perspective from a very for many years. I mean, since existence. I mean, it was just one of those things. Like even the samurai were another situation to where it was, you know, the Bushido was talking about like how it was very centered around honor, but it was also a method of pacifism. It was also a method of the samurai wrote haiku. You know, like there was a balance between, you know, the warrior mentality and your everyday life.
Well, and
as a warrior, you had to practice that balance, write haiku, practice passivity, because it was something to where you actually had to see the impact of what being a warrior was in your everyday life.
And there was a like respect for it, and also of like, hey, we're teaching, we're helping, but also this is life and death. Like, this is important. This is a life skill.
Yeah, these are skills that we want to give you to be able to not be a victim, type of thing.
And I agree with you. And there's areas where he can do, like warrior poet, where he can show off a little bit, and he's kind of honest about that. Like, he's like, okay, here I am, like, here's my appendix holster, like he's like facing up the targets, and like, okay, boom, and then like pulls it out and does this thing, and that's cool. But then also has his like teaching side where he gets to show people why you do it this way and get to work one-on-one with people and stuff. And I just feel like there's something to be said about someone who is like, hey, gather around, watch me do this incredible thing, and, you know, just be in awe of me, or let me show you kind of some tips of how I got here. Yeah. You know, and because like someone wants to learn to be like that, you know? And I think there's more of a respect. And I'll be honest, I haven't really like dove into David Goggins. It's just anytime I hear him talk, any podcast, anything he has to say, any short that I've watched of him, I'm just like, okay, dude.
Look, if I can do it, anyone can.
Like, it just doesn't, I mean, and this sounds really bad, but I just think of, and I'm maybe saying things I shouldn't say, but I also think of like a support system. If you're going to make that your lifestyle, like, you are 100% making certain things like that, putting them ahead of other things. Like, there's a sacrifice in there. Yeah. And it's not just affecting you.
Yeah.
And it's the same with anything. Like if you want to be great at something, like, yeah, there has to be a partnership. There has to be like athletes and stuff. Like, yes, they miss family dinners. They miss birthday parties. They miss all the other stuff. And like to do that stuff, I get it. And to me, I get if it's just to get achievements, but I think that's the part too that's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around is like, I'm going to go complete this basic training, not because I have to, because I want to. And I'm going to go do this, not because I have to, because I want to. It just doesn't. And then go and tell people, like, talk about, like, hey, I did it just because. It just doesn't seem genuine.
It's one of those things. I have a tremendous respect for people who have sort of the mental fortitude to be able to do some of those things.
Yeah.
Because I think it definitely takes a certain type of person.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, that same type of person is willing to make sacrifices for something that you and I wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
I want to come home and I want to freaking chill.
Mhm.
You know? You want to go home and hang out with your kid. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like, those are things that I wouldn't want to allow myself to dedicate time to something
Mhm.
else. And those people are just like, F it, who cares? And I mean, maybe that's not the case, but prospectively,
Yeah.
okay.
I think that's a good way
That's
to put
what
it.
it seems like.
Yeah, I agree. And hobbies are great. Things to have, like, things to have to look forward to. I like having accomplishments. I like feeling like there's things that I can, like, look forward to or just create or, I like that stuff. Even if it's making, like, some dumb song. Like, it's fun to do that. But yeah, I agree. Like, prospectively, it's like, man, how do they do all that and also maintain a good relationship with, talk about that aspect. Talk about how you balance, like, all the things.
Yeah.
Because we don't care necessarily about your training regimen. And that's who you're talking to, is this average Joe that isn't sponsored by every food brand you can think of, so that they can not work a full-time job, so that they can do just that. We're not the same.
Your brand is grind, 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 grind.
Like, we're not the same.
We don't have a brand. Okay, like, I'm trying to grind so that we can keep a house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to go to work every day so that we can have food
Right.
on our table.
Right.
Like, it's not the same thing at all.
No.
And like I again, like, to say, like, I don't think that I would have the mental strength that it takes to go through buds. Like, absolutely not. Like, he's like there, every single person that Sean Ryan interviews, he's like, did you ever want to quit? And every single person is like, every day. And he's like, what kept you from not quitting? And they were like, seeing other people quit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, pardon?
Yeah.
If I see that person quitting, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's time to quit now. You know?
Right. We could do that. We could
Time-
quit.
time
All
to-
right.
I can go home.
Cool.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Man, he's some of the people he interviews. Yeah, it is crazy. The stuff they've seen or heard and just their take on stuff. And yeah, like we've both said, it takes a special person to do something like that. I can't imagine going into any form of basic training and powering through that, getting through that, and what that would do to me, and being able to act like, I'm fine, everything's fine. I can't see that, or see the type of stuff they've seen and come back and, have fun with my friend and not be seeing stuff.
Well, but that's the point. Like, that's literally the point. They want to, like, break you to a point to where you are a different person.
Yeah.
Like,
You're a machine.
that's the whole point. And that's not to say that, like, that's a bad thing, okay? Because I know, like, there's a lot of people that come out of the military that lead really, really healthy lives and healthy relationships, but that's not to say that they didn't struggle to do that.
Yeah. Well, it's like in that element, like you're there to do something. And if they're sending you over, do you want to have those second guesses?
No.
Or do you want to be a freaking machine?
Yeah.
And do exactly what you're supposed to do? From the decades of training that have said this will work in this situation. That's where I want to be if I have to do something. Not like, maybe, what's my options? There's not an option.
Well,
Go ahead.
Sorry, so even like Nick Irving, who I find is, I mean, kind of incredible, just like the things that cause he's like written books and stuff like that. Like they're really good. He was talking about like even later in his career, he was an Army sniper, and I think he has the highest number of kills like currently, like some 30 odd people.
Gosh.
And so they called him the Reaper.
Whoa.
Yeah, like that's a real thing. But he's like, later in my deployment, like in my career, I would deploy for 3 months. And during that time, I would gather up my rifle. Like it was a marksman rifle. And so he's got a magazine worth, I think 20 rounds or something like that in there. But it looks like an AR-15. And so like, you're not looking at like a regular standard, 50 caliber. Yeah.
Like Jackson from Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. It's not a bolt action, right?
Right.
And so, but he was like, yeah, like I'm married, like, and I'm going to deploy and I've got a kid or something like that, you know? And like, he was like, I have to go and be the Reaper. Like, I know that that's a moniker and all that, whatever it's worth, right? But he's like, I have to go and be that person.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't think about any of that. And so like, while it was maybe difficult for me to do that when, you know, we were first in our relationship or whatever, he was like, it may have been difficult at that point, but it becomes second nature. And you actually almost, at some point, you almost miss it.
Mm.
And so like, there's a completely different part of yourself that, okay, I'm a warrior now.
It's survival.
Yeah. Like I have to go and kill people.
Yeah. There was I was watching a video and it was this battalion or whatever that they would work on. They kind of developed their own tactic for clearing rooms and tactic for doing battlefields, kind of mission work. And they would practice it. And basically the whole premise was instead of talking, they did the whole thing silent. They said they went in without lights. Yeah. They went in, he's like, because we started talking, we're like, I don't need you to announce stairway. I'm going to know there's a stairway.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, dude. And he was like, we would get so good that during these trainings and actual live missions, they would be able to go. He's like, he's like, we would just see like how many people would go wake up sleeping because of like how good they were at doing that. And I'm like, how do you get to the point where like he's like, we did our best communication.
Yeah, 100%. Because it wasn't you weren't waiting on cues.
Mm-mm.
You were
doing what you're trained to do.
You were noticing everything.
He said they'd go in completely undetected, like because the lights were off.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is insane.
And they have like night vision and stuff like that.
Yeah. But like, no, I mean, just completely quiet.
And that was the same guy who killed Bin Laden. Like he
was it him?
Osama Bin Laden.
Jeez.
He's like, yeah, he's like, as soon as you go up that stairwell, you're gonna run into this person, and he's like, at that point, he's like, it's exactly like they said, like we saw him walk out, and I just popped him. He was down, and you'd communicate that. It was like target down, right?
Right.
And then at the same, and then at the same time, like you're walking into a room, and that's full of, you know, Bin Laden's wives or whatever, and Bin Laden's just sitting up there awake, you know, and so in your infrared, you see this man, and you're just, I mean, there he is,
dude. He probably, like, when he did that though, like when he like saw him and he popped him, he's probably like,
and then knocks him out with a grenade.
Dude, that's so funny. You're like, I know what you're thinking. He's just like, got his bow, just sort of, just a rock hard freaking grenade.
I really wish that they did not do like the pineapple grenades in World War II, and they just did the really big long stick grenades like they did in World War One, like where you pull the pin out of the bottom and it ignites the charge.
Oh, like a
through the
I
handle.
can't remember what it's
stick
called. But
Grenade.
yeah.
Yeah. So like, that would be so funny. It's just like.
I got him.
K.O. You know?
He's like while he's playing, yeah, he's just lining him up. It's just he's like, dude, that'd be so funny. Like, why didn't you ignite the grenade? Be like,
Why not?
yeah, I just thought it'd be cool to hit him with the stick.
I just thought it'd be funny to knock him out with a, with a grenade.
Hey, what a way to go. That's so funny.
Gosh.
Ugh.
All right, so we're an hour and almost 7 minutes into it.
Wow.
Do you have more stuff do you want to talk about?
That was really it. This was fun.
That was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I had like, I don't even think there was anything else worth mentioning.
Maybe we can start out what?
The AI jujitsu robot. Have you heard of this thing
yeah.
real quick?
No, yeah, we talked about it earlier, but
There's this robot that they're using in, I don't know where it was, but it can like, it has indicators on it. So like you train with it like a dummy, and it has indicators when like a choke is applied and when like oxygen like goes off, so it turns like red. So you know that you've got like a good like lock. And its joints, like it actually has like, I don't know what they are in it, but if you like put it in like an arm bar and like pull hard enough, it will like you will feel it like dislocate.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I was like, it made me I'm like, first of all, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like that's perfect to show like, I mean, because the technology from that point is just going to be crazy. Like apply like a kick or something, like, okay. Apply like a kick or something and be like, how much damage did I do? Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and start getting like organ readings and whatever.
Impact sensors.
But I was thinking, how far are we from watching like robots fight? First of all, unlike Robot Wars, that's been going on Spike TV for like 17 years. But
Like
how
Real
far are we
Steel?
from? Yep. Or like sports teams like that are AI. Like, are we addicted to the sports players, or are we addicted to the game itself? Can you imagine an arena of machines? And it's basically like the Gladiator days. But I was thinking about that and like how that's going to change the way that we view like just sports in general.
Yeah.
It's like that could be pretty crazy.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like iRobot.
Mm-hmm.
It's really becoming iRobot.
Ooh, yeah. But yeah, that was it.
Or Tesla coming out with the self-driving tram or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a taxi,
Mhm.
but it looks like the design from iRobot.
It's so crazy.
It's so funny.
Just ripped it off.
Yeah, he did. Like the guy, the director for iRobot, and was like, "Hey, Elon, I'd like my design back, please."
My design back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is perfect. But yeah, I'm gonna end on a note. You have a note to end on?
Are we gonna record again before Christmas?
No, so this will be the Christmas episode.
Oh dang!
So Merry Christmas, everyone.
You filthy animal. Yeah, I love you.
happy birthday, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Send us a Christmas card.
We hope that you have a lovely Thanksgiving, even though this will
This is a pagan
out.
holiday, huh?
even though this will come out after Thanksgiving. We're about to celebrate Thanksgiving.
We are.
But I hope everyone has a happy and safe Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Everyone working retail this time of year, I am sorry, and I know it sucks. Hang in there. Katniss Everdeen. Cool. All right, wrapping it up.
Yep. Love
Happy
you.
Christmas.
Bye.
Bye.